Adam, welcome to the new version of WEEI Afternoons. Andy Hart here, along with Nick Fitzy-Stevens, and a name you're familiar with, former Patriots linebacker Ted Johnson. How are we doing today?
So we got Andy, Nick, and Ted, correct?
Yes, sir.
Hello there, gentlemen, and welcome to the show, Ted, and nice to be with you guys today. And, boy, nice quiet day in the NFL. We like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nothing going on.
It's your time of year, fast and furious. So let's take a step back for a minute here. We've talked to you a lot about these coaching hires in New England. We ended up with where we thought we'd be with Mike Vrabel and now Josh McDaniels. We did have a little pushback, though, from some listeners, and I want you to maybe clarify this. Did Mike Vrabel hire Josh McDaniels, or did Robert Kraft and Jonathan Kraft hire Josh McDaniels?
Mike Vrabel hired Josh McDaniels.
So no forced marriage here. He went through the interview process and came down to the candidate that he wanted.
That's what I believe to be the case. Yes, absolutely.
I feel pretty much the same way, Adam.
Let's go.
So there you go. You know what I'm really curious about, because it's a little surprising to me. I was listening to the Fox broadcast. I think it was the Eagles game against the Rams when Brady was calling the game, and he was talking about him being a part of the process, the hiring process for head coaches there with the Raiders, and Ben Johnson now going to Chicago, Aaron Glenn now taking the job with the New York Jets. Have you heard anything, Adam, about just kind of that process there with the Raiders in their head coaching search and how involved Tom is? And I don't know, to me it kind of looks a little bit awkward and unusual that Tom's part of that hiring process and they're not getting a lot of interest in that job.
Well, I think Tom is very involved to start. I think he's helping to run the show if he's not running the show himself. That's number one. And they just hired a GM. So that was the route they decided to go. So I don't know, they didn't get Ben Johnson. That's it. Right?
Yep.
That's okay. Neither did Jacksonville. There was only one Ben Johnson. And I mean, if we're going to look at this practically and realistically, do you really believe he was ever going to the Raiders? I know a lot of people talked about that. But in what universe does that make sense? 1 year, last year, you turned down Jaden Daniels, and then the next year you're going to go take a job without a quarterback, without a draft pick to get a quarterback, in a division with Mahomes, Herbert, Bo Nix, Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton. Does that make sense to anybody?
No, I get it, Adam. I guess my point is, does Tom Brady being a part owner of the Raiders not a part of maybe a prospect, a head coaching prospect wanting to go there? Does that resonate at all with coaching candidates or not?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Fair enough.
I think Tom Brady is a drawing card there, and people the reason that Ben Johnson would have even considered the Raiders is because of the credibility that Tom Brady brings to the job and the organization.
Yeah.
Without it, I don't even think he would have been Ben Johnson didn't even meet with the Jets. Why? Because he wasn't taking the job. He met with the Raiders. Because they have Tom Brady. I don't believe if Tom Brady were not there, I don't believe he even would have met with him.
Interesting. Okay.
See, Adam, you said Ben Johnson didn't meet with the Jets. Why? And then as the resident Patriots fan, my gut was to say because he's a smart man. But I'll try to keep it a little classier. As the resident Patriots fan, though, it feels though like there's a lot of positivity in the room right now. We have adults back in the room. You got Josh, who's a familiar face, Mike Vrabel. Now you've got John Stryker coming in. He's going to be like the new Ernie Adams. A lot of other coaches, and Terrell Jennings, who was with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee. Then he goes to Detroit for a year. Now he's coming here supposedly to be the defensive coordinator for the Patriots. What do you know about Terrell Jennings and his experience, and why should we be excited?
I don't know much about him. I know about Terrell Williams.
Excuse me. Terrell, my apologies.
Okay, you're throwing me for a loop there.
My bad.
Who's Terrell Jennings? I don't know about Terrell Jennings. I'm having a tough time.
Got a lot of new names working over here. Yeah, sorry. Terrell Williams.
Terrell Williams is a guy that obviously, Mike Vrabel anointed as the head coach during the preseason in 2023, passed off duties to him. I think that shows you how much respect and feeling he's got for him. And he's a guy that worked with Vrabel for 5-6 seasons in Tennessee. obviously had a close relationship. Obviously, Mike thought of him. He went to Detroit for 1 year. And somebody like that, I believe, is when Mike Vrabel goes to take the head coach, he knows fully well all along that Terrell Williams is going to be his defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's his guy. And so somebody that I think has done great work in this league and somebody that now comes to New England. And let's be honest, Vrabel will also be heavily involved in the defense. That's his area of expertise. But you also have Terrell Williams to help out there, and that's the situation.
Adam, I have heard that Josh McDaniels spent the last year kind of doing a bunch of different things, visiting some colleges, visiting different people, looking at different schemes, and maybe with the hopes of, I guess, modernizing his offense. Have you heard what is the respect level, I guess, for Josh McDaniels and his offense, given the successes he had with Brady, but some of the failures he had as a head coach and most recently with the Raiders?
Yeah, but it's two different jobs. There have been a lot of coordinators that didn't succeed as a head coach that are great coordinators. Josh McDaniels is a great coordinator. He's one of the best play callers in the league, period. No matter how much he struggled as a head coach. A head coach is a different animal, and that didn't work out for him in Denver or Vegas. That's obvious. As an offensive coordinator, I know Tom was his quarterback, but his results are second to none. So he spent the last year, he's gone around to various places. He studied a lot of tape. He's been in the Foxborough area the entire time. His family's there. So to me, it's just a natural match. And, the great part about it is if you're Mike Vrabel, you're the Patriots, like, you're not worried about somebody hiring Josh McDaniels as your head coach. Mm-hmm. It's like, to me, it's the best of all worlds for everybody.
Yeah. That's such a good point. I think it's an excellent point. And real quick, last one for me, Adam, is just, what do you think about the perception that Patrick Mahomes is kind of given preferential treatment by the refs? Do you think the NFL is sensitive to this narrative? Is this even on their radar? I mean, what do people think about kind of that view that Patrick Mahomes gets the calls?
Yeah, I think he probably does. And I think the NFL is sensitive to it, and I think he's smart enough to help induce that and create that. Just like Michael Jordan got calls, just like there were Jordan rules. It looks like we now have some Mahomes rules too, right? When you're that good, you're that respect. By the way, did Tom Brady get calls?
Yep, he got a couple.
Yeah, here and there. Yeah, a little bit, no doubt.
So, Adam, last one here. Earlier today, this is sort of more looking forward into the draft. You tweeted out around 11:30 today, Titans president of football operations, Chad Brinker, at today's press conference to introduce GM Mike Borgonzi. We won't pass on a generational talent with the first pick in the NFL draft. If you had to guess, not holding your feet to the fire per se, but if you had to guess, who do you think that generational talent might be, or do you have any intimations as to which way the Titans would be going?
The defensive lineman from Penn State or the wide receiver cornerback from Colorado. That quote told me that they are not locked in to take a quarterback at one. That is not what New England wanted to hear. That quote today.
No, it was not, sir.
Certainly not.
That's unfortunate, Adam, but we end on a low note, so a great player is not going to drop to the Patriots at 4. Appreciate you.